Welcome into another edition of the Box Kickers Talking Sports podcast. I'm Chris. That's Daniel.
Yo.
And this week we are going to catch you up on the NBA playoffs. We're going to touch on our MLB team of the week. And we are going to recap our first and second episode of the show since we just passed our 1 year mark. So before we move on, we'll start with our obligatory Twitter plugs. I am at CR Drubert. Daniel, you are?
I'm at Daniel_Cabrera9.
All right, and you can follow the show at Box Kickers Pod. So with that, we'll start like we always start the show with our catching up. So Daniel, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. 3-day weekend, Memorial Day today. Did a lot of yard work Saturday, trying to clean out the pool, mow the grass, move the pool for like 5 hours. It was hot, tiring. That's about it. Just watched a lot of baseball, watched a lot of hockey, basketball, threw that in there, and a little gaming here and there. What about you?
Yeah, my weekend plans kind of got derailed a little bit on Friday. My oldest kid was in an accident, so car got totaled. My wife and I. Not only was it the show's anniversary, it was my actual marriage anniversary. And so we were going to go and see a movie, see The Quiet Place 2, but we had to kind of cancel that. Luckily, Alamo has a pretty good cancellation policy. And then, luckily, before all that happened, I did the yard work. I got all taken care of because I knew we had nothing but rain coming. And so I did that yard work. I basically stayed home with the kids. My wife kind of ran around helping my daughter out. And then we watched Army of the Dead last night, which we're going to talk about here coming up. And then, just other than that, it was just hanging out here on a 3-day weekends. Just trying to relax before the grind of the week kicks in back up tomorrow. So.
Yep.
So yeah. I did catch up on Fear the Walking Dead. Now I do know that you finally got caught up on that, and there is no episode last night, so we don't have to worry about trying to catch up on that. So since we missed our show last week, we can go ahead and recap that one. So what did you think about this episode now that you're caught up?
I thought it was really good. Just like every other episode of this series, it's really well written. I know before that we talked about when the school scenes were coming because I believe filmed here down the road in old Buda Elementary. We finally saw them. It was pretty cool. We passed by there like Saturday night or something, and it's just like a little highway to go to downtown Buda. So we just looked over to see what the scenes were filmed. It was pretty cool. But I enjoyed it. Obviously, you were right about the submarine with a little new missile launch or whatnot.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Obviously, in my head, in my opinion, they obviously have to stop it, right? Like,
so
and how if it
so.
does happen, how far can this missile range?
So I think we're gonna see a time jump. I think this is their chance of catching up to Walking Dead for the final season, that we may be able to see a crossover maybe in Ohio when they go to the Commonwealth or whatever. There's a chance. I'm hopeful. There's a chance that we could see a small crossover, but either they're going to hightail it out there, either on a boat out into the water, or they're going to get into the bunker as well with Alicia, because we know she's locked in the bunker.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to be successful in launching this missile. I think that they're going to blow up Central Texas, wipe everything out, and I think they're going to be down there for they're 3 or 4 years now behind Walking Dead. So I think this is their chance of catching up because they're talking about being down there for several years. So I think they're prepping us for a time jump. I think the missile is going to go off.
I'm excited to see if it does happen.
Yeah.
And what obviously we're going to learn in the next episode. Is it the finale or there's 2 more episodes?
2 episodes.
2 more episodes. Okay, so the penultimate episode, we're going to find out a little more. And then the finale, it's going to leave us with a cliffhanger. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
I already know. But this overall, it was a good season so far.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like what they're doing with it. I like the parallel they did with the cult leader and Alicia, basically saying you're not ready for the world as it is today. You're ready for the world's going to become. So like when he was in prison, the world was not ready for his craziness. But once the zombie apocalypse broke out, it's like, oh hey, this is the perfect world for him. I mean, he's batshit. So
Yeah.
just like Alicia, the good wholesome side of her that got instilled by Madison, I honestly think that she is better for rebuilding the world, but what's out there right now is too dangerous. I mean, the old ballpark people proved his point of how they were good that turned bad, and
Hmm.
so yeah, I like that how they had little parallels of like the crazy guy and her being similar but different. Um, I they are gonna I think they are gonna set the bomb off, and I think we're gonna see a time jump between this season and next season. Now, I hope I hope they set it up by having the bomb go off at the end of this next episode, and then we see the time jump in the finale, similar to how whenever Rick flew off in the helicopter and the end of the episode was like a 5 year time jump. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
that we get to see that. Maybe that they're coming out of the bunker. They're trying to see what they have left of like the dam area, whatever, and then which I'm hoping it blows up the dam and it fills up the water, so they can't go back there. And maybe that's whenever we hear Morgan or whoever say, "Let's go to Alexandria." And then when Walking Dead starts up, hopefully we can have a crossover. I mean, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see them crossing over is if Morgan does say that or Sherry,
Yeah.
because she wanted to go back there to
Yeah.
find Negan and kill him, but I think that's the only way for them to cross over because them three or them two plus Dwight is the only people that would know about this.
Yeah, I could see them kind of going north after the bomb, maybe to kind of because there's nothing, there's no one and nothing else can be left if that bomb goes off. So maybe they do end up in Commonwealth, and we get to see them during the final season of Walking Dead, and then Fear picks up where that one leaves off. Maybe you can bring over a few more of the Walking Dead characters into Fear that way. That way, it's not just a hard stop for Walking Dead. It's like a continuation, but with the Fear people, with maybe like Princess and some of these other people introduced this season.
Yeah. I don't think it would be a good idea if they hightailed off on a boat. I think that'd be kind of dumb. I mean,
What
they'd
the
probably have to get a bunker with Alicia.
Well, but the problem is we don't know where the bunker is in relation to the missile, and if the missile gets launched, not going to be able to get halfway across the country or halfway across the state because it sounds like that the bunker is near Austin, and we know that the submarine is in Galveston. So, for those of you who don't know Texas geography, that's like a 4.5 hour drive, and
Yeah.
they're gonna be on horses.
They'll get there in like an hour.
Yeah. So maybe they find another shelter, or maybe they do go out there on a boat and they just kind of get up to Louisiana or whatever, try to avoid the fallout. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Or maybe they'll watch it blow up from Galveston and have to figure out how they can get back there once the radiation or whatever ends. But with the way the wind currents stuff go, they're not going to be saving Galveston if they do launch a nuke. If they just launch a bunch of missiles, different story. But with them trying to go underground
Yeah.
for several years, that tells me it's going to be a nuclear weapon.
If they do hightail out of there somehow, um, what's gonna happen with the mad science guy and the group down there? Like, is that it for them? Is that the end of the story for them? Or
I almost think that they're fulfilling their mission. The cult leader, I love his character. I love the actor. I would love for him to stay on the show, but he's not meant for this show for long. I mean, he's gonna
yeah,
die. He's gonna die either at the hands of John Dory's dad or at the bomb. So
yeah, that guy's a good actor,
yeah,
man. He's really good.
yeah. I've seen him in several other shows I've watched in the past, and I think the one that stands out to me the most is he was on Smallville. He played Lex Luthor's father, Lionel Luthor, and he's the reason why Lex Luthor becomes the maniacal guy that he was. Even though Lionel tries to recover by the end of it by helping Clark Kent, or whatever. But good actor, I like him. He's playing a great character. I mean, who would have thought that we'd be so entertained by a demented mortician?
Yeah,
So
I'm excited. I'm excited for the last two episodes. I know my boy is and my wife, so we're
and
excited.
which is interesting because as we talk about this being our 1 year anniversary show, We dogged Fear the Walking Dead all last year because how bad that previous season was with the blimp and the plane crash and the nuclear reactor, and they've turned it around quite a bit. I give them kudos for that because we went from hating that show to enjoying it.
Glad we stuck with it.
Yeah. So, all right. The other zombie-related thing that we watched was Army of the Dead. I watched it last night, so it's still fresh in my mind. After I watch stuff like that, I like to go on to like YouTube and look up videos of like Easter eggs and stuff. And this movie is a lot more interesting after seeing some of those Easter eggs. So obviously we know it's a zombie apocalypse movie. Vegas, it looks like a military experiment, looking maybe for a super soldier gets loose, and basically an outbreak happens in Las Vegas that they walled off, and they're getting ready to nuke it. I love the casting in there. A lot of these actors that played their roles great. Batista was awesome in his role in there. I like seeing him in these lead type roles.
Yeah.
And so, but the thing that was interesting about, and for those of you who may not caught it, go look up on YouTube. New Rock Stars. There's a channel there, and they're pretty good about covering all of the tips and tricks that you may have missed out. So it looks like there's aliens. Looks like there's robots in this as well. as well. There's some like zombies with blue robotic eyes. Like there's one that gets his head shot, and it looks like there's a metallic jaw. So
yeah, I saw the blue eyes. I saw that. Just before the show, you told me about the aliens. I missed that completely.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I didn't know about it. I mean, I know they were joking about those two guys in the truck transporting the first zombie, Zeus, and I think they were talking about Area 51 and is this alien or whatever, and so but what I didn't catch was that there's these two lights that fly over the top of their vehicle. So it was interesting seeing that that there's a possible time loop that they talked about in there. So they found dead bodies down by the vault that were all dressed identical to their characters, and so there's a possibility there's a time loop in this too. Zack Snyder's having some fun with this, and they're creating a whole world. There's multiple spin-off shows coming from this, but overall, I think it's going to be pretty fun. So, what are your thoughts on the movie?
It was okay. I love the zombie genre. I love the outbreak, but it was contained in Las Vegas, obviously. I thought it was a little too long for what it should have been.
I thought it was pretty decent. I mean, it was like 2.5 hour long movie, but I thought it flowed pretty well. I mean, I remember I paused a couple times to go get something to eat or whatever, and I'm like, there's only 40 minutes left. So I mean, I thought it flowed pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it could have been. I mean, it is Zack Snyder. Note to self: when I see a Zack Snyder film, I better be prepared to my whole day to be into that movie. So.
And he took a lot of liberties. He didn't want to make the same zombie movie we've always seen. I mean, he did Dawn of the Dead, and this is nothing like Dawn. It's kind of like with the humor, but it's nothing like Dawn of the Dead. Like that was like legit zombies. This one is evolved zombies, the possible experiment from the government. The freaking zombies were having babies apparently or something.
That was stupid. Well, that took 5 to 7 minutes out of the whole movie. Take that out of there.
That just tells me they're not dead. I think it's more of like I Am Legend, where they've evolved or whatever. They're not truly dead. That's what I got out of that.
It did remind me of I Am Legend. Another thing, so it's contained in Las Vegas, Nevada. Is everybody else in the United States not worried about what if a zombie gets out and it's ruined? Like United States is zombie infested? Because I'd be scared shitless. Like if that happened, like nobody else cared.
Apparently they got walled off pretty quick and nothing else got out. I guess they put a military barrier around there, but
but you still have to prepare. Like say AT&T Stadium in Dallas, 3.5 hours, 4 hours away from us. I would be preparing if something like that happened.
Well, again, it's also a movie.
It's a movie, yes, but like California or Arizona or
there's no way it would be contained to one city. There's not a chance to be contained to one city.
PM Dub said the girl who played Batista's daughter I couldn't stand.
Oh no, she's the worst
Yeah,
character. She's the worst character in the movie. Yeah, she. I mean, first of all, I mean that's where it kind of the reality left me as well. So she leaves to go find her friend, which we never saw what happened to her friend when the helicopter crashed. Is she alive? Is she not? We never saw. After they got in the helicopter, we never saw her again. And
it was pointless. It was a pointless storyline.
and they're like, okay, so Batista is in this resort, having to fly the helicopter with his friend over to the other resort to go hunt for his daughter in 9 minutes.
9 minutes. That's another thing. So you're telling me to get from point A building to point B in 9 minutes. You have to fly over there,
Not
go
only,
down, save your daughter, and it's stupid.
not only that, but the daughter bailed on them when they had 20 minutes left. Got through the city on foot. Got up to like the 30th floor of this hotel. I mean, come on.
It's like one of those old school montages, like hockey movies, where it's like 3 seconds left, but it takes like 15
20 minutes.
each scene. It's like, come on now.
So yeah, that was one of the things that got me. It's like another YouTube channel I like to go to is Screen Rants, and they have the pitch meeting. So they immediately did a pitch meeting when this movie came out, which I thought was hilarious. And they were talking when they're introducing the characters during a pitch meeting. He's like, "Oh yeah," and then his daughter, I remember her name. Yeah, she literally gets everybody killed, and it's the truth. She literally got everybody killed.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, because if she didn't go with them looking for her friend, half of them would have survived this whole trip because they would have been flying out of there at the very least before the little walker zombie guy got all the way there. So,
Why didn't everybody get down into the safe?
they probably weren't. I think only the safecracker thought about going in there, and that's the other thing that gets me. How did he get out of the safe?
Either A, he didn't close it all the way, or B,
There's a button on the
it
inside.
was just unlocked. Either a button inside or it was just unlocked. But the head zombie that took away the locksmith guy, he kind of would have figured like, hey, this isn't closed all the way.
Yeah, he's a smart zombie. So
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if that's gonna happen, I'm getting in that damn safe. If I'm gonna die next to all that money. So,
And then
yeah.
and then the guy getting out with all the money. So he got bit. He's able to climb out through the debris, walk miles, get a car, drive by a plane, and
That's
then
another
fly
thing,
almost
yeah.
Mexico City. And he hasn't turned yet. And other people
Yeah.
turn pretty quickly. So
Yeah, they gotta think that stuff through.
again, it was meant to be cheesy. It was meant to be cheesy. He was very successful. It's a fun zombie movie. That's why I chalk it up to.
Yeah, it was fun. I like these kind of movies. Batista did good.
Yeah.
I like the Mexican guy, Gomez, whatever his name is. I don't know.
I
And
didn't
then
like him at all, but I liked him by the end.
yeah, and then the main chick that led them, what was her name? Badger or Raccoon or something?
I know you're talking about, but I can't remember her name.
She was pretty badass because she knew how the way they worked, and how they did it and whatnot. So she was pretty cool. Liked it.
And then the other thing I found out afterwards was the helicopter pilot. She was cast later off the show. That's why
Yeah.
if you pay attention, most of her scenes, she's kind of out of focus, or they don't show her face with the rest of them. And then when they first enter the city, you kind of tell she was CGI'd in. Well, it turns out that I'm blanking on the guy's name. I'm trying to look it up real quick while I'm talking. So
Her name was Coyote. Was her name?
yeah,
Sorry.
no, not, oh, yeah.
The badass chick.
Yeah, chick, yeah. So Krista Elia, he's a comedian. He recently got canceled because apparently he's like a sexual predator or whatever, something along those
Yeah.
lines. He was supposed to be the helicopter pilot in this movie. They filmed a lot of scenes with him in this movie, and then whenever the whole thing broke out with him getting canceled, they recast it as this lady, and that's why she was not in a lot of scenes with a bunch of people. Like you didn't see her there, or you could tell that she was CGI'd in. So I thought it was kind of interesting that they made that change so late, and they were able to still make it work for the film. I mean, it was one of those where it's like, because if you remember, when they found the dead versions of themselves on the possible time loop down by the vault, the helicopter pilot lady was there.
Yeah.
but she was always on the roof. So that's where the time loop kind of broke off in my mind. But in the original way they filmed the movie, the guy was the pilot, and he was probably down there helping get the money after the helicopter was ready. But they had to make the whole storyline about the helicopter needing to be fixed. That's why she's up on the roof the entire movie, because she didn't film the rest of the scenes with everybody.
Yeah. You can tell she had some standalone scenes.
Yeah.
John Dory was a piece of crap, huh?
Well, as soon as you heard him introduced as the head of security, like, okay, something's wrong with this guy. He's gonna be the bad guy. If he did not chop off the queen's head, they would have made it out of there just fine with all that money.
Yeah, but that chopping off the queen's head was a lot more than the money. So
Yeah, yeah.
And then they show the Chinese guy at the end, just at his house, the bottle of whiskey or whatever, taking a drink, and that was it.
Yeah.
Don't hear from him.
Well, because he didn't get his way.
He didn't get his way, yeah.
He already had his money. He already had his money. The insurance paid it out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. So if they do the time loop thing, there's a good chance that the guy who got out that was bit at the end could be Zeus, but just a different version of him, and we see the whole time loop again. I'm not sure if we're going to see like a Groundhog Day where this movie is going to get repeated multiple times until they finally succeed, or what. But yeah, it was. I'm interested to see what Zack Snyder has in store for all this.
I'm not. I don't want to see another 2.5 hour movie that should have been like an hour 45.
Let's go be 4 hours next time.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, so that will be our recap. So we'll jump over into the sports. So real quick, before we jump into our team of the week, I do want to give a little bit of a sports headline that some of you may care about. So in women's tennis, Naomi Osaka, she's the #1 player in the world. She was the favorite to win the French Open. Withdrew today because she refused to talk to media. I don't know the full story behind it. I know she's trying to prove a point about something. But they fined her for not talking to media, so she said, "You know what? I'm not going to play in the French Open at all." So it's interesting to see her taking a stand. Basically, the #1 player in the world dropping off a major. I think that's very interesting. I give her credit for making that decision because I mean it's hard for someone. Tennis players don't have a long career anyway, and so for her to make that decision to drop out, I give her credit for that.
Yeah, especially at the U.S. Open, it's one of the biggest tennis titles out there. I guess we'll follow up. I don't know what's going on, but we'll figure it out, and we'll talk about it probably in the next episode.
Yeah, according to the ESPN article here, it sounds like she has anxiety issues. She's nervous, stressful when she's trying to publicly speak. She was trying to not do that until like later in the tournament, and they're basically making her speak every single day. And so I think that's what the main thing. That's she's standing up for her own mental health.
What is that called?
Ricky Williams was like that. Social anxiety.
Doesn't Elon Musk have that or something like that?
Well, he has
like socially awkward.
He has
Asperger's.
Yeah, he has a form of autism. So
Zach Greinke's kind of like that. He doesn't like talking to the media. He just gives short answers.
Remember, Ricky Williams used to give interviews with his helmet on because he was so shy. And then finally, Pop made him feel comfortable, and then made him leave the league because of that. So, all right, so we'll move back over into our MLB teams of the week. I'll go first, and my team this week are the Tampa Bay Rays, who are on a tear. 9-1 in the last 10. They've overtaken the Red Sox for first in the division. They just destroyed the Phillies. They've crushed the Angels. They're beating the teams they should have beaten. And they're pitching. I mean, that's the thing about the Rays. They have a bunch of no-name guys who early in their career, they trade away their best pitcher, and guess what? They're just as good. They're playing right now against your favorite team, the Yankees, and so so I'm pretty sure they're probably going to go win 4 more games against the Yankees.
I sure damn hope so.
So, but no, yeah,
they're up 3-0 in the 7th.
So let me look at this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They won 15 of the last 16 games.
That's correct. They're about to win another one if it stands still.
Oh my goodness, they've gotten hot. They struggled a little bit there. I mean, they lost 3 of 4 or they lost 4 or 5 in a stretch between Oakland and the Yankees before this winning streak started. Yeah, it just they're going to be in the playoffs. They're probably going to win the division again. They may be in the ALCS possible World Series again. We'll see. They got they got the hitting. They got the pitching. They go out there to do their job, and I don't know if I mean I know Red Sox are doing pretty good, but they don't have a team built that's a first place team in my opinion. And I think the Rays are just going to run away with this division, and then I still look for the Yankees and Red Sox to get those 2 wild card spots.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they could decimate the Yankees over these next 4 days. And then they got the Rangers for 3. That's probably gonna be wins. They have Washington for 2, then Baltimore for 3. They could possibly approach like a 25 out of 26 type streak right here.
Yeah, they got an easy schedule coming up for like the next month.
Yeah, because on the 14th they have 3 against the White Sox. That's gonna be pretty difficult. Then they go out west. They have 4 against Seattle. Then they come back home with the Red Sox, Angels, the Nationals again. So yeah, Yeah, I think they're going to go on a little run right here.
Kudos to them. Kevin Cash is doing good as a manager. Also, that just tells you right there, it's not all about buying these free agents and giving them a big contract with big money. See what the Yankees did with Garrett Cole? They wasted like $300+ million on the guy. They're 29 and 24, and he's pitching great. It's just it's offensively, it's bullpen. It's not all about starting pitching, which does carry to October. But like Aaron Judge, he is okay. He's not the face of the MLB. Stanton and Gleyber Torres. So it's not all about buying these free agents. It's talent wise that come up from the farm systems. It's what the Tampa Bay's been doing for a long time. They've had a good farm system, so they trade these pieces away to get better. But they're good. My team is going to be the San Diego Padres. They just came off winning 2 out of 3 in Houston. They should have got swept.
They smacked
Didn't happen.
Astros. They smacked them
They
around.
did not. They smacked the bullpen around. That's about it. But they have the most electrifying player in MLB right now. Fernando Tatis hit that homer Saturday with 2 outs. Astros were leading 6-3. He tied the ball game.
Didn't the Astros drop like an easy fly foul ball?
At first base. It was Tatis. But that guy if Yuli was there, he would have caught it. Taylor Jones, get that guy out of here. He sucks. But out of the Padres, Tatis he's just such a great player. He's batting .299. Cronenworth, Eric Hosmer, Will Myers, Profar, Manny Machado. It's players that will get the job done. It's not big players like Cronenworth, but they get the job done. The pitching's there with Yu Darvish. They have Blake Snell has been really bad. That's their big acquisition. Besides Yu Darvish in the offseason, Joe Musgrove has been really lights out. Chris Paddock and Lamet. They're doing good. They're first in the NL West. They overtaken the San Francisco Giants and the LA Dodgers, who are 3-team beasts right now in the West, with San Francisco being 33-20 and the LA Dodgers 31-22. It's going to be a tight finish towards the end in the NL West. I'm still leaning towards the Dodgers. I don't want to, but we'll see. I mean, these teams are coming up, and just like the Giants, like they don't have that much talent as the Dodgers, but they're winning ball games. Like every series it's up in the air. If Tampa Bay is facing Baltimore can easily sweep. Like the Yankees just got swept by the Tigers. The Tigers swept the Astros early on in the season. It's pretty much anybody's ball game in MLB right now.
Yeah.
But I have the Padres right now this week.
Except for the Tigers and the Orioles.
Well, they got a World Championship manager. The Tigers do so.
You count that? I remember. So it's 2 things. He cheated to do that. He allowed cheating to happen, and then I can go back through probably 5 years of chat. Man, you need to fire that guy. He's a bum. Get rid of him. He's a joke of a manager. We'd be winning more without him. So,
not true. I don't know what I was on, but that's not true.
So.
And yes, I still do count it because Rob Manfred didn't strip away the title, so it's still there.
You should have.
I don't call it. So.
All right. So. Anything else in the baseball world you want to touch on? I know we're getting into June, so we're getting close to that trade deadline. So, any big names you think are going to get traded, or any names floating out there right now?
I think possibly Max Scherzer might get traded to a contending team if the right price is there. Um, I obviously my team. I don't think the Astros are going to do anything because they'll be over the luxurious luxury tax, and they don't have farm system to trade, so they're going to have to deal with what they have now. So, other than that, man, the Rays are they're on a hot run. Dodgers are kind of sliding.
Cubs are
Fernando Tatis.
Cubs after that terrible start, they're starting to move back up. I mean, I think they were first in the division now.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to see. I mean, Mike Trout being in the game right now. Him and Tatis going head to head, even though they're in different conferences. That'll be very fun. But Tatis right now is the main guy, and Albert Pujols still hitting home runs in LA. Incredible.
I mean,
this guy doesn't go away.
Do you think this is the last year if they win a title?
I think so. Yes, I think he kind of hinted towards the beginning of the season that this is going to be his last year.
Okay.
This has got to be it, unless he goes to an AL team and just DHs. But
yeah,
I don't know who would want him right now at age 68. So,
all right, real quick, we're gonna go. We'll transition over to our playoff basketball kind of recap. We won't spend a lot of time on this because I mean, obviously, I'm sure you're checking out games, but the Milwaukee Bucks destroyed the Miami Heat, so they moved on. I'm pretty sure Washington is going to get swept today by Philadelphia. Utah, Memphis. Memphis won game one, but they're looking down a possible 3-1 hole. And then tomorrow, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Brooklyn probably finish off Boston, especially after the Boston crowd living up to their name. And then so Denver and Portland are tied 2-2. They'll face off. Lakers and Suns are tied 2-2, but no Anthony Davis for next game, possibly more. So yeah, it's and I think New York's got to come back 3-1 from Atlanta. I don't know if they win another game. Julius Randle's looking like his normal self. And then with Luka Doncic hurt for Dallas, I mean, I thought for sure they're going to destroy the Clippers, but the Clippers tied the series 2-2. They may come back and win that because without Luka playing at 100%, they don't think they really have much of a chance. So, anything stand out to you on this?
No, the Western Conference is a lot more powerful than the Eastern Conference. I like that Denver Portland series. I have Portland going all to the finals. I think.
Yeah.
I believe. The Phoenix LA series is pretty intriguing. I saw a few quarters of that yesterday. I don't know. I messaged y'all during the series, man. I think they should let these guys play, man. There's too many fouls in the NBA. Just let them play. You can call the obvious fouls, yes, but I think they should just let them play.
Some series they do. It depends on the ref. Some series they do. Some series it's ticky tack.
Why does every umpire, refs, officials in every sport suck so bad?
Good question.
Like they've done this for 30 years. Yeah. Like, come on.
I think part of it is players are getting bigger, faster, and stronger, and so it's kind of hard to make some of these calls because, like LeBron James, he's getting hammered almost every single time to the basket. Do you want to sit there and let him get injured and then the NBA lose money, or what? I mean, it's.
Oh, come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
Like I want to see like Portland, and I think it's gonna be the Nets. But Portland Bucks would be cool. NBA, do they want to see that? No, they don't.
Yeah.
They want LeBron to be there and give him some revenue, give him some money. LeBron versus Durant. That's what they want to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it changes the outcome of the game. I don't know, but yeah, I want to see some fresh teams. Dallas, come on, Dallas. Even though I hate Dallas teams, I want to see them beat the Clippers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, the Eastern Conference sucks, man. Like you said, I think Washington's gonna get swept. I like Atlanta. Miami got swept, and then Boston's toast, dead meat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Philly's going to make quick work out of Atlanta, and I look forward to that Milwaukee-Brooklyn series. I think that's going to be a legit series in the East.
I hope Atlanta surprises us.
Yeah, I think the whoever wins the Brooklyn-Milwaukee series comes out of the East.
I believe so. Yes, 100% agree.
So, okay, we'll transition over into our 1-year celebration. One thing I did was I went ahead and I broke down what we had predicted in our first two episodes, where we broke down football predictions for the this past season. Again, we did it in May before training camps, before trades, before a lot of these transactions took place. We didn't know if there was going to be a season, but we need something to talk about, and we need something to ease ourselves into it. So we said, hey, what's more easier than giving NFL predictions? People like to listen to that, and we can easily break these up. So what I did was I broke out each division, our predictions, the final prediction with the records, and if we got the order of finish correct or the record correct, I give us each a point. And I'll go ahead and break it down for you. We'll start in the AFC North. I had Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. Daniel had Baltimore, Pittsburgh flipped, and then Cleveland and Cincinnati. So I got all four correct. Daniel got Cleveland and Cincinnati correct, but he also had Pittsburgh's record 12-4 correct. AFC South. I had to be annoying to Daniel, so I chose Indianapolis to win over Tennessee. But I had Houston and Jacksonville's finish correct. Daniel had all four of those division winners correct. And he had Tennessee and Jacksonville's records correct, 11-5 and 1-15 respectively.
Yeah.
So AFC East, again, I pulled a little bit of a homer card because I didn't trust Buffalo. I had New England and the Jets correct. Daniel had all four, Buffalo, Miami, New England, and Jets correct, with Buffalo's 13-3 record correct. So
Are you a big believer in Buffalo now?
No, not at all.
We'll talk about this in about a month when we preview our NFL teams.
Are they going to the division? It's possible. I think it's a two-team race at this point, but I still don't believe in Buffalo. So in the AFC West, I was correct with all four picks. Kansas City, then Las Vegas. I had both their records correct, 14-2 and 8-8. And I had the Chargers and Denver correctly. Both their records are incorrect. Daniel was right with Kansas City, but he's off by one game for their record. But remember, Daniel had Denver finishing second at 11-5.
Oh.
So, and then you had the Chargers at 1-15.
Well, they had injuries. Von Miller got hurt. Gerald Casey got hurt.
So
Sutton was out.
NFC time. So this is where I kind of catch up a little bit here. So in the North, we both had Green Bay winning the division. I had Chicago's 8-8 record correct. You had Minnesota 7-9 correct, and we both had Detroit finishing in last place. NFC South, I had New Orleans record correct, 12-4. You had New Orleans 1, Tampa Bay 2, so you're correct there. NFC West, I had the correct order finish: Seattle, the Rams, Arizona, San Francisco. You're correct on first and third with Seattle and Arizona. And we both had Kansas City losing in the Super Bowl, so we're correct there. I want to go back to my favorite division because we were so bad at it, the NFC least. So I had it. I was close with the records going because I had Philadelphia going 9-7 winning the division. You had Dallas 10-6, so the division winner was 7-9. So I was closest with that, but I had Philly, Dallas, Washington, New York. You had Dallas, Philly, New York, and Washington. The actual finish was Washington, the Giants, Dallas, and Philly. So the teams that we had in third and fourth were in first and second in the division, and both of our predictions for the win the division finished in last or second. So it was a rough. The NFC East was pretty rough on us. It was rough on anyone watching the games as well. But as an overall predictions record, Daniel, you had 23 of these correct, whether it's a team's order finish or the record. I had 23 as well. We tied. So, what do you think about our predictions? What do you think stands out from last year? Where do you think that we're correct on the obvious stuff? Where do you think that we were way off on that we should have seen coming?
Well, obviously, I'm better than you. And then, second of all, I knew the AFC South was decided with the Titans winning. And then the NFC East changed dramatically when Dak Prescott got hurt.
It did.
Big time.
But remember,
I didn't see the Eagles finishing last either.
Yeah, but remember, Dak got hurt when they were 1-4, so it wasn't like they were going to win the division easily at that point.
That's true.
So,
If you would have told me that bum quarterback from Washington was going to lead them to an NFC division title, I would have said you were an idiot.
on one leg.
On one leg. They started with Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
And they won I think, I'm telling you right now, I think Washington's going to win that division this year.
Oh,
That's my pick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, yeah.
And the defense has bolstered up. They're really good.
Yep. I agree with that too.
Other than that, I didn't see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to the Super Bowl. They proved us wrong. Yep. I thought Kansas City was going to smack them around in the Super Bowl, but they got the playmakers. They got it done at their home stadium.
Yeah. Looking this through here, I'm trying to see who we were the most wrong on.
Denver.
Well, you were Denver still only won like 5 games. You had them at 5 or you had their record right at 5-11. So
yeah. I mean, the injuries, like I said earlier, with Von Miller and Joel Casey, and their best wide receiver, Cortland Sutton, was out. So I don't know how they're going to do this year, but we'll see.
We were both wrong on Houston. We both had them at 8-8, and they were 4-12. Cleveland, you had them 8-8. I had them at 6-10. They were 11-5. I think who else stands out on here? I was only.
They were surprising.
We were both only off one game on Miami. They were 10-6. We both have them at 9-7. Let's see. Who are your? Yeah, Washington football team. I think we're most wrong on. You had them at 1-15. I had them at 4-12, 7-9, winning the division.
I thought they were gonna be bad.
And yeah, you had San Francisco 12-4, and they finished 6-10.
Ugh.
So I had them 7-9, so I was only one game off. I had them in last place, so I was correct there. But yeah, it's. I think it was fun. Again, we had no idea what we were doing when we started those first 2 episodes. We just wanted something easy that can burn an hour of time, and this did. I mean, talking about football predictions, team by team, record by record. I mean, it served its purpose. It got us started. I mean, the first episode was still, I think, our most listened to episode, because people, as they discover us, go back and check out those first couple. I give you credit if you're still listening to us after starting with us on episode 1. I give you credit, because we had some pretty bad shows along the way, trying to pull for information. I remember episode 1
dealing with COVID.
Yeah, episode 1 and 2 we over prepared for. I mean.
Yeah.
Some of the notes that we had on there, like I think you were breaking down like the 13th man on the defensive roster and practice squad guys, and but yeah, it's now a lot of these it's like, hey, we have an agenda, we'll just roll with it, we'll just kind of go with what we know off the top of our head. So I want to thank we had Trey Elling join us for an episode. We had. Bucky Blackman jumped on there for one show to break down some WandaVision for us. I do the creator of Bucky, Ralph. Thank you for listening to us all this time. I'm glad that you got some answers, and it's not too bad for your little doctor's visits this past week. So I'm glad you're gonna be sticking around with us for quite a while. Peter Mack interacts with the show. He always gives us feedback during the week. Good show, boys. Even though he may not admit it, but I'm sure Mike Jones, he's listened to our show, just so we can talk trash to Daniel about how he knows nothing about sports later.
Now that guy's an idiot, I'll tell you that.
And then I want to give credit my wife, and I'm sure yours too, for putting up with us doing all these Saturday night shows or middle of the week shows, or letting us sneak away to kind of record this. My wife lets me, after the show's over, for about an hour, fix all the audio and post everything online. Even though I could tell you my wife has not listened to a single episode because she hates sports. But yeah, we've come a long way. I mean, we started off, we had no idea when sports were going to continue, because we started in the beginning of the pandemic. I mean, May. Pandemic really kicked off in March, whenever basketball kind of shut everything down. So we started late May. July, so we talk about 6 weeks later is when baseball started up, and then basketball was getting to Orlando. So we're talking about marble racing on YouTube, and simulating of college basketball games is what kind of got us through the sports
College
initially in there.
basketball.
Which I just want to point out,
Um,
there's a guy who I think he used to work for SB Nation. I'm not sure where he works now, but he just finished his series, so he took over a the worst team in like the 2006 March Madness game, I think it was. He took over the worst team, and he finished his 40-year career as coach last night. I think he won like 6 national titles with that with Western Illinois or whatever. So
yeah,
he saw it through the end. I mean, people like that got us through early on when we were really struggling for sports. But here we are.
yeah. It was a hell of a year. Ups and downs. Trey Elling, thank you. Ralph, Bucky Blackman, Peter Mack. Appreciate it. Lots of more sports to look forward to. The shows will get better. Yeah, throughout each year, and they're obviously gonna get better. But
We
yeah, just
had
appreciate everybody.
we had a video over the last month or so. So I mean,
We
it's
had a video. We're on Twitch, YouTube, right?
YouTube. Yeah, yeah.
YouTube.
We're all over that. Maybe one day we'll be able to get a little more of a set schedule. I mean, for
Yeah.
those of you who listen to us, we do this for fun. We're not getting paid for any of this. I mean,
Hmm.
and it's just about our love for sports. I mean, this whole thing really started because back when I first moved to Austin, where I worked at, I had hired Daniel there, and we had Peter Mack was with us, Mike Jones is there, and we would spend a lot of our days just talking sports, and we're like, man, we should try to get paid to talk about sports, and so it's like, even though we're not doing it for paid, but I mean, hey, at least we get to have some fun talking sports. Hoping you guys can learn some stuff or give us some insight of what you want to hear. I know one of the biggest takeaways that we've gotten for this first year is a lot of you guys like the catching up segment. You like talking Marvel movies or TV shows or Walking Dead or so we're going to try to keep up with that too. I know
Yep.
like Bucky Blackman when he was on there, Ralph he's big into like the Marvel world and all those movies. So people like that who tune in, like I know on YouTube the most searched way people are finding us is the word WandaVision. So with Loki starting up here in about a week, I'm sure we're going to be able to get some Marvel viewers back when Loki starts up too. So
Yep.
yeah, we're open to anything. If you guys want to hear more of the pop culture, let us know. I mean, we can spend a little bit more time, maybe watch some more shows around our basketball or football or baseball schedule and talk about that. If you want to hear sports we don't talk about very much, like hockey, just let us know. We can bring it up too. I'm sure Peter Mack wants to talk about golf, but I mean, uh, outside Tiger Woods crashing, I don't really know anything that's going on in sports. I think Phil Mickelson won recently.
Phil Mickelson, yeah. NASCAR. I know the Indy 500 was on yesterday.
Yeah, Elio Castroneves won a record-tying fourth race. Spider-Man was back in Victory Road. This could be the return of the old man year because Phil Mickelson won last week, and then you have Elio out there winning. He won his fourth race, I think, in his 21st, which is basically on pace for like what AJ Foyt and all of them did back in the day. So, and then that crowd, watching that crowd at the Indy 500. I don't know if you saw any of the highlights, but I mean, 135,000 people. That's 25% occupancy. But seeing 135,000 people there, that just tells me that we're almost there. We're almost out of the end
Ooh,
of the pandemic.
it's fun. It's fun
Watching
hearing the crowd.
watching the NBA playoffs with crowds. I mean, it's just
NHL is like full capacity, man. That thing is
yeah,
loud.
yeah.
I saw a video of Vegas the other night. It's like a club, man. They had like strobe lights flashing everywhere. The crowd was electrifying. It's awesome, man. I know over there in Europe, Chelsea won the UEFA Champions League. That crowd was awesome.
Yeah,
Sports is almost back, 100%.
yeah, we're getting there. So again, I want to thank you guys for joining us. It's been a fun year. We're going to keep up with it. Daniel and I talked. We may during this slow period we're hitting now. We may go every other week for the time being until football kicks back up. We'll let you know. Follow our Twitter. I'll throw those back up there if you want to follow us again. At CR Drubert, at Daniel_Cabrera9, and at BoxIckersPod. Just follow us. We'll kind of give you updates of what we decide to do. If we want to do weekly still, if we want to go every other week. Once football season comes back, obviously we're going to go back to our weekly predictions, and then every week again once we get to that point. So, anything else you want to throw out before we end the show, Daniel?
I'm about to go watch a Memorial Day beatdown of the Astros to the Red Sox. I'm gonna watch a couple of hockey games tonight. I'm gonna watch the NBA tonight. A lot of good stuff today.
So with that, go Sox, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.
Peace.